Yeah, I lost audio and video for the main room.
Oh yeah, there goes the video.
Hmm.
Rough.
Yeah, hopefully he's working on it.
Yeah, I also just texted. I texted Andrew. I need to let him know.
Okay, cool. All right, now I can see you guys. Can't hear anything though still. There we go. I can hear you now.
That's okay. Okay. Hey, what's up, everyone online? Thanks for tuning in. Um, so, ironically, after yesterday and learning about indoor air quality, there was a bunch of fumes in the room that we were using yesterday. So we had to relocate down here. Um,
So Terrell Dixon is not in Northeast online, presidential construction.
okay, great. Um, I promise I'll pass the rest of these out afterwards. I want to respect all of the time that we have. Mr. Cole,
Yes.
do you just want to dive in? I know we're like 5 minutes late here.
No, you're on time. Yeah.
Okay.
So I brought slides. I don't know if you need to pull them up for the folks online.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Did you email me?
I did not actually. Yeah. And
Oh,
I can. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
just in case.
Oh, you got a USB.
Yeah.
All right, that works.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Boy Scout. I didn't make it to Eagle Scout. I made it to Weeble. And as a backup to the backup to the backup. So.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, I got to tell you where it's at. I got a bunch of stuff in there. And then the actual phone cut out as you jumped on the elevator. So the folks online did not actually introduce themselves to the people in the room.
Let's see. All right. This is
Hamilton. Yep.
Cool.
And then go into MMCA. Yep. And I think it's DWEJ. No, contractor readiness. There we go. Cool.
I guess I'll just say hi. My name's Scotty. I missed yesterday because I have a night job also, so I'm gonna miss tomorrow and then I'll be back for the rest of the course. I have some background in solar and some kind of green repair work. But a lot of my work has been in rehabbing and building projects for community centers. So I'm pretty, and full-time farming is also part of my background. I'm pretty new to Detroit, and I'm been kind of jumping on helping to rehab some spaces for community spaces, but I'm just wanting to learn a lot more about the hazards that are present and get brushed up in like electrical. I'm also curious about general contracting. I have kind of like a loose foundation in a lot of the realms. So I'm just excited
So, you're hard right.
to be here.
Nice to meet you. I guess I'll go next. I'm Zach Lariviere. I am sole proprietor of Thunderbird Custom Services, which is a new company I just started. But I do have a background in contracting. For the last 10 years, I've done everything from drywall, framing, roofing, rehabs. Right now, what I'm doing is specializing in rehabs of a lot of land bank homes for the organization I work with. We are Culture Creators, which is based in Southwest Detroit. And we create spaces for Black and brown artists, visual artists, audio artists, creatives, young entrepreneurs. So we take these land bank homes and we rehab them to be ready to be used by these young people so they can have a safe and affordable place to live while they pursue their arts and careers. So what I'm trying to learn more about is lead and asbestos and mold, because I deal with a lot of that in these land bank homes, and then also foundation repair, because that's a huge part of those land bank homes, as well as many of them have failing foundations, leaky basements, things like that, which leads to mold and rot and all of those other things. So yeah, that's basically what I do. And yeah, all right, thanks.
Cool. Did everyone here get to introduce themselves?
I think you probably just have to call on people.
Yeah.
They don't.
Bill, he's not paying attention.
Hello. Yeah, Devon, do you want to go?
Yes. My name is Devin Moore. I'm the owner of Eli Home Improvements. Work with a lot of investors. So buying, renting houses. So I pretty much do the gutters, roofing, siding, or whatever it pretty much takes to get fixed up for the investors. And I do most of the demolition and the commercial buildings. Most part of I want to get my builder's license to go further in the demolition and remodeling for them. But for the most, I do majority of the roofs for people that's putting the houses back together in Detroit, Michigan, and in the outer skirts of Detroit, Michigan.
Cool. Thank you, Devin.
Hey, Liz.
Go ahead. I also think most of us got a chance to introduce ourselves yesterday, so maybe just the people who haven't been on the call can just take a minute to do so now. The other thing that I've done is on the resource document, I created a spreadsheet with everyone's name, areas of focus, and areas of interest. And I think that's one good reference point for us to collectively, see, hey, if I want to learn about lead abatement, who here is lead certified? And just be able to make those connections between the group a little bit easier through that document as well. So with that said, I know there's a few people here who didn't attend yesterday. Do y'all just want to introduce yourself so the people online can put a face to the name, and then we can dive into this presentation?
Maurice Wiggins, owner of Wiggins Roofing, residential and commercial.
Emmanuel Jones, owner of Jones Cleaning Group. We focus on facilities and maintenance on the residential and commercial side. Oh, I was on mine yesterday.
Oh, right.
I was here today.
Good to see you. Lucas, right? Yeah. All right. Cool. I think we're ready to dive into it. Let me pull up your slides and present for everyone.
So, good evening, everyone, especially those folks that I can no longer see. Jason Cole, and I want to apologize right off the bat to Bill, Lucas, and Ashton, because they have to hear me most Saturdays. We had a whole conversation about my voice. Anyway, so I serve as the executive director of the Michigan Minority Contractors Association, and I want to thank Andrew and the Detroit Workers for Environmental Justice for having me as part of this program. A lot of the folks in the room kind of came through my e-blast, and good to see folks do the work, which is like fill out the application, submit your qualification, or you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. So I have been doing this way too long. So I'm gonna hit a quick bio. What I'm here to talk to you guys tonight: customer communication, project management, bidding, estimates, and then financials. Right? Now there's some extras in there because that's just how my brain operates. You'll hear me time and time again say four-legged stool. I apologize. I do it ad nauseum because that's how my brain operates. So I got into construction way back in 1986. Going to Randolph, actually did 2 years over there. Don't take a picture of the slides, I'll send it to you.
You always say that.
Yeah, right? It's just gonna fill up your
I'm
mouth.
on my phone.
Yeah, so Co-Financial Services, it was a little small business. I started at clearly my last name, that was my mother's company. And I helped her grow from about 300,000 in sales to 3.2 million. And it was a fun little ride back in the 80s and 90s. I miss Bill Clinton so myself. When I was 19, I actually co-wrote a law that is still on the books in the city of Atlanta with my mother. So I don't know what most of y'all was doing at 19. Yes, I went to Freaknik, but I also wrote a law. And then in 1996, I took my mother from 2 certifications, which are really important in the construction space, to 195 across America before the internet really existed. And that was a lot of fun, sending her personal information across the country. She hated that, but it made her multi-millionaire, so it worked out. I want to stress how important being certified is. It is the difference. It's your lifeblood. Like getting access to money and capital is really important, but getting certified is kind of the next step. And that's just no race. We ain't even got to technical skill. Certification is important. Along the way, my mother being a Scorpio fired me, so I used to work for the Small Business Administration. She's an awesome lady. And I was in the 8A section, so if you ever hear that terminology, so not Section 8 on HUD, but 8A, which is in the Small Business Act, it allows you to tap into the federal government marketplace, which spends roughly about $1 billion a day. Everybody knew that? Okay. See some heads nodding, right? And so that was really good. She was able to pick up about $20 million in that 8A program. And then we had a little separation because you can't help people when you're family connected to somebody in the program. So I literally was a government employee helping a government contractor. I didn't do that. I did not do that. The other thing I did was 2007, I got my BOMA certification as a certified facilitator trainer. So that basically tells you, says, I tell you what I'm about to tell you, I tell it to you, and then we review what I just told you. Very key attributes of training. And then in 2008, came back and plugged in with a company that I later became the owner of called Commercial Financial Specialist, where I am a certified commercial loan officer. So I help people get loans at banks. Actually was just talking with Lake Trust Credit Union, trying to get a developer's line of credit. So that's the other thing I do. I teach people to be developers, and then I walk them into the bank to get them a loan. Despite the Patriot Act, you can actually do that. And then the last thing I did starting in 2009, was I started 15 associations. I'm not smart. And I say that because herding kittens is primarily probably about 50% of my job. So I'm going to start 2 before the end of the year, and I was just on LinkedIn starting a construction technology association that was originally started by the grandson of the guy who built the Hoover Dam. So I'm really excited about that because AI is coming, the robots are coming, the drones are coming, and if you don't have an app, and I'm about to launch 3, this is not a game, people. All right, moving along. So customer communication, this is really important. I do way too much talking in my life, so I'm always trying to close. I got another training session I'm doing September 9th. It'll be all virtual on development because people want to now build apartment buildings. And I built the infrastructure going back to 2018, so now it's ready for everybody else to grab hold of that. It's time to build some apartment buildings, get some of this money. And then a soft intro. Really important just to say, don't start a conversation 2 steps in. It's like, hey, I'm Jason. Love to be of assistance. And so one of the things I do, most of my signatures are thank you. Just thank you. Sincerely is out there, but I start with thank you. And so sell and sold, right? You're always selling, but after you're sold, you still want to stay in communication with the person. So real basic stuff. You want to start with a heading, you want to have a close, but in the body of the text, you'd be surprised. I've seen some emails come through just right to the point, like, hey, soften it up a little bit, especially when I don't know you, right? And I don't know how many people have new customers that you're trying to build into a client, but that's really important. Okay, I like the notes. All right, so what you want to hit them with is the project start. In construction, it's notice of furnishings, but it could be just, hey, we're kicking this off. Everybody should be on board, and we're going to be on this journey together, along with project updates and then project closeout. A lot of folks just stop going. Like, wait, is it done? You're like, no, tell them it's done. Something simple, something simple. It's just really important if you're trying to build long-term relationships. Again, customers are one-time, clients are continuous. And I will tell you, as my mother had a contract with the guy I'm about to start the association with, father. In construction, this community is very small. Even though they're based in San Francisco, this world is so small. So be careful. Be careful. You don't want to end up on, was it Fox 2 News? Yeah, that's really important. And so this stands out, this last point on the slide, which is handwritten thank yous. I don't do it myself. I've received 2 in my lifetime, one from a guy named Robert Shoemake, who some folks know, and then the other from Greg Cheesewright. That's a real government person, yeah. And those aren't made up folks. And it stood out, and this was 15, 20 years ago. You don't get them anymore. And I'm left-handed, so I know my handwriting is atrocious, but it actually goes a long way. I have 17,000 people on my phone. I know the 2 people who wrote me a personal note. All right. The other part I'm supposed to hit on is project management. And I think, Ed, you do it for a living, literally, right? And so your 7 Ps, right? Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. They always try to get me to change the profanities, but it's construction, so that's what I'm talking, and the people I'm talking to. And I actually, full disclosure, started a Women in Construction Association, so I cover all the bases. Went a step further, now part of a women developer group, because I'm serious about it, right? I'm in business with my mother to this day, so it is what it is. And what you're doing is you're managing resources, right? Time, labor, material, money, it's so crucial. And I'm gonna hit on that money side a little deeper. And then equipment, because one of the things we have is a shortage of diesel repair people. So the thing you're working on or need that's a part of your business could go down, and it might not be for a certain amount of hours. It could be for days, if not weeks. That will throw a monkey wrench in all project management that you weren't planning for. So contingency operation plan, or COP, is really important. We all got plans until somebody started shooting. It's kind of like that. That's military, yeah, that's real. And so at the end of the day, you want to be prepared for all the what ifs. And we had one today, right? We're going to be upstairs. We're now down here. You could turn the lights off. It's a little warm, but maybe I'm just sweating. But at the end of the day, you have to be flexible in the situation you're put in. Really, really crucial stuff. I think we'll do questions at the end. Yes? Okay. Financials, right? This is the paperwork that gets you to approval of loans. And so the construction industry is not really known for its paperwork. I will tell you, as a person who now creates paperwork for people, I get cursed out. Nice, it's nice, nasty, but I still get cursed out. So income statement, right, which is your profit and loss, your balance sheet, work in progress report. I'm sure curious, show of hands. Let me go through these. So income statement, show of hands. How many people have prepared one? Doing them? Got somebody doing it? Okay, let's see some heads nodding, some heads half raised. Okay, balance sheet. Yes. Okay, there we go. All right. Work in progress report. That's hands. Okay. Okay. All right. Cash flow projections.
Andy.
All right. There we go. And then personal net worth statement. Right. Somebody's going to write down what you own and what you're trying to accomplish, which is probably a line of credit or a loan. And another question for the group: how many folks get loans? All right. How many folks are getting lines of credit? All right, so we working on it. And so here's the sticking point. Most folks will do their 1040, right? Your Schedule C, and then other folks who go from entrepreneur to enterprise will have an 1120. And so that tells the bank, oh, they really up there, right? They're doing 941s. The paperwork really then drives what that bank will do for you. Because that's the other part of who you probably talk to more than your kids should be your banker. You got to have money floating around. It is your lifeblood. And then the other thing is people promise to pay you in 30 days. Just you know, little shock absorber. I tell you, 60 and 90. Anybody in the room or on the call who's ever gotten a contract from the city of Detroit already knows those numbers are out the window. They are notorious for paying at 120, 150 days. There is a gentleman, Profin. He literally knows that's a problem. Used to hang out with Dina Harris, and so he started a factoring company to solve that problem. They're working on it, but he's still getting a lot of business. Just FYI. Yeah, that's really important. All right, bidding and estimating. The biggest thing I get, because folks, Ashton actually had me look at a bid. Right, and so it's what's your labor rates, that's your starting point. You got to pay yourself. One of the things we're not doing, as I understand it, is putting ourselves into the bid. Take care of yourself, right? Put the mask on you before you put it on the baby. So, and where do you go for numbers? I don't even know what to charge, what should I be paying people. Literally the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's your federal government, and the place you pay those taxes to, they literally have a running chart of what you should be paying folks based upon the job you're doing. You got your material rates. I'm a big proponent of ×3. So it doesn't matter if it's Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, or you can get fancy, what's it, ABC Supply, folks like that. Step your game up, because not everybody probably has 3. Let me see in the room. How many people have 3 supply houses? Oh, fancy. All right, and then equipment rates, right? So you got your, Hertz and Caterpillar and Alta. It could be Chet's Rental, right? 9-mile rental. So hopefully you got 3 of those on your phone, because you never know that thing you might need is no longer available at the location that you have your only relationship with. It's serious stuff. Don't stop no show. So the other thing you need to be doing is talking to an insurance and bonding person. Look at it less last minute and more of a ongoing relationship. I believe, right, from the folks I've helped, it's literally a last thought. Like, oh man, they don't ask for a bond. Oh, okay. No, I ain't never. Oh. So here's the wonderful thing about Detroit or Michigan. You can bond a project that you don't even need a bond for. So you're starting building the experience and track record. Show of hands, how many folks knew that? I see Maurice's face. All right, and
Say that one more time.
So you don't need a bond on a project. But to start a track record, because you don't have one, you can actually bond a project you don't need to bond. Yes.
That's good information, Jason.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I can say yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. And for most of the things I mentioned here, I got a guy, and sometimes I got a gal, but I got a lot of guys who provide me with information, are patient enough folks who will walk you through processes. Here's another thing that's just changed recently. Jerome Powell, finance rates are going up, right? You were probably at 4%, now you're on the way to 8. And the hard money I get for people, it started at 9.75, now it's 12, right? But you don't have to stay in that money forever, but at the end of the day, it's real. It's real. And so, what's that?
Short term.
Short term, right? But here's the thing, you want to then build that into your overhead rate, so the customer is paying for that. And then know your overhead rate. How many people have ever done an overhead rate review? No hands, all right. Okay, lesson learned. Make a note, right? And then knowing your fixed fee. And it's basically, that's my profit margin, right? Could be 5%, could be 15, could be 35%. You dictate what your profit margin is. I will tell you there's some industry standards out there. I will not share that in this room, but yeah, they're out there. And the other thing is, as you're preparing your bids, pre-do them, right? Create format matters, because it depends on who you're submitting that to. They may have their own standardized format. You may have your own, and then so you got to do some cross-talking, but you want it to align so you get paid faster. Because if they got to look different slots for the information, that holds your money up. And ask them. Most folks don't even ask, like, what's your invoice standard look like? Oh, send one of those up. But I mean, black out the information. I don't want anybody's personal information, but yeah, send that to me. Anybody thought of that? Of course. Okay. All right. Break down labor time. I've seen bids with just whole numbers on them. I don't know how those get approved. It's just $60,000. You're like, what am I getting for 60? Right? Give me some definition. Either break down some rooms, break down labor rates, break down technical skill. Like, give me some breakdowns of that. Folks like that. They want to know where the money's going. And so that's really important in bidding and estimating. You will constantly be getting educated on that, because sometimes you just use a system to do it. And then other times you have to literally make something for a particularly new client, which is not fun. Everybody wants to use an app and be done with it. Formatting matters. Okay, moving along. Corporate credit. So this is where I start to shine. One of the things I'm able to do for folks is take thin pieces of paper out of thin air, and then go get you credit. Everybody's heard of Uline and Granger, but deeper than that, let's go to Blue Vine. Let's go to Green Chart, right? Let's go to these places not everybody's heard of, because I don't need $10,000. I need to get $100,000 or $250,000. Right, and so this is the thing that gets us. It's really the phone. So most folks got their EIN number, you got your articles of incorporation number, you might have a Dun and Bradstreet number. You've got to get that, and you can get it for free if you know the back door way to get it. And then we just operate from our cell phones. It's just how we do, right? Unfortunately, I got two of them now. I want it, but somebody made me get it. And so when you have your phone line installed by AT&T, so not Vonage, not Xfinity, not Grasshopper, AT&T at the location where your business is at, that's the biggest hurdle. And so this comes from the National Association of Credit Management. Jason didn't make this up. And so they walk you through if you want to get corporate credit, because nobody's coming to your house, right? My corporate credit is actually based at my house. And I don't even have that great a score, but I get everything I need. I'm just saying. And the older your business, the better. I should have put on there a 5-year-old business or better. If you've not paid the $25 to the state of Michigan, just make that sacrifice, blow the dust off of it, and bring that corporation back online. I've done it with a 27-year-old business. I'm going to be doing it with a 39-year-old business. It's worth it just so I can have an age. Yes, ma'am. And it's not cheap, but it's well worth it, because I know if I do a new corporation, I gotta wait. I'm on simmer. I'm trying to get to high, right? Put it on 10. And then the other thing that's really important on this sheet is the business savings account. And I just asked 4 bankers at Huntington this question in a public setting, and the experience varied from 4 months to 14 years, and they had not heard of this. There's a scoring system for your business savings account. And one of the triggers is $4,001 for 91 days. And normally you can leverage that up times 3, which is basically $12,000. And it's just a good way, if you don't have a high net worth value insurance policy, you don't have a 401k that you've now converted into a 408D3. It's a way for you to leverage what dollars you do have into a loan or a line. That's how you win at this, folks. It is not the Earth's gravitational pull to the sun. It is the almighty dollar, period. Moving along. I'm a big fan of associations and memberships, not because I started 15, actually because I was a member of 20 associations before I started my first association. And so these associations will not only take your money as a membership, but also they have a BOC, which is a body of knowledge, which then gets you to a certification. And probably the most important one on the sheet here is the ASPE, which is the American Society of Professional Estimators. They have a designation called a CPE, a Certified Professional Estimator. I won't say what I normally say at this point, but it's really good to have that as a designation after your name. But in your LinkedIn profile, folks will start putting some respect on your name, as Birdman would say. There we go. I spent most of my time in the sales space, so that's why you got a bunch of marketing and sales stuff there, because it's cool to put a roof on. It's better to constantly have clients that ask you to put that roof on. Okay. I'm a lifelong learner, just probably in the last, 15 years I've been doing the association thing. I had to step it up, but SBA has a program, Ernst & Young has a program, the National Business League and the Initiative for Competitive Inner Cities, which is kind of an offshoot from Harvard, and then Goldman Sachs, the Dartmouth Tuck Diversity Business Program, Endeavor, that's real high level, Endeavor program. And of course, the local programs, Prosper Us, Build Institute, and then Tech Town. And so if folks need to get into a training program, you can use me as a referral, except over at Capital Impact Partners. Yeah, I said it. All right. And, okay, you pause me? I think I'm finishing up.
You're good. Sorry, I just wanted to see if there's
something
in the chat. My bad, though.
Okay, there's a question?
No, I didn't see anything.
Okay. All right, resources. And this didn't exist, at least, or I didn't know it at the time. The Accounting Aid Society actually has a small business program. So if you don't want to pay a bookkeeper or a CPA, they've got some low bono services or fees for service that you can tap into. Legal Aid Society is really for folks who are being put out. So the only alternative there is Legal Shield, which starts at $49 for the small business package, and it can go up to $169. Again, which you can recoup those dollars in your overhead rate. Really, really important. And then sometimes people ask me, like, where's all the money going, Jason? So there you go. There's the two sites. One for Black Lives Matter, and then two, the Giving Pledge was started by a guy named, a poor gentleman by the name of Warren Buffett. I don't know if anybody's heard of him. And so he encouraged other wealthy individuals to say what their foundations will be giving their money in support of. So I encourage everybody to stop by there. Several people from Detroit are on there. And so you can see their money and their commitments. And then who do you need to talk to get some of that? Right? So how many people have a 501c3? Yeah. Oh, you gonna do that? I'm doing his 501c3 now. Yeah, and he's gonna look at me. So yeah, those are really important. It not only helps the community, it actually helps you because you can work in tandem with your for-profit business and your nonprofit business. All right, talk to money early and often. I love these commitments, and this literally goes back to the Black Lives Matter corporate pledges. You got Huntington with their Lift Local programs, about $40 billion. Chase, Advancing Black Pathways, $30 billion. I ain't seen none of this money. I will tell you that Chase sent over a couple ladies, Stacy and Bree, to my meetings last year, and Bree has already got a promotion. So something happened. Nobody told me they got any money, but that's kind of how my phone operates. It only sends out the leads. It doesn't necessarily get told when the money shows up. Couldn't actually identify what the heck Comerica had done. They did $1 million to the National Business League, but I can't tell what their overall commitment is post George Floyd. PNC has a Main Street program, and I should put down, I think they're at about $30 billion as well. And then KeyBank which is out of Cleveland, Ohio. They have a stated loan product or line of credit actually, for $50,000. So we've been over there for the last 3 years. Somebody online has already got some money from there. You can't see his face, or he'd probably be sticking his tongue out at me. I'm not gonna say your name, but yeah, and then I love federal credit unions, right? So there are a lot of credit unions in the city. Not all of them are federal credit unions. They got different standards. And so they don't have CRA, which is Community Reinvestment Act. They have something called low moderate income. Once they're designated as such, that's the federal credit union you want to run to. So full disclosure, I am a member of PenFed, Navy Federal, Construction Federal. I need to be a member of USAA. I got to figure a way in there. And then I might fart around with MSU. Because Steve don't make me do it. So, and so those folks are cutting checks. I was actually talking to both Lake Michigan and Lake Trust Credit Union this morning for someone else. I'm helping a young lady build 72 houses in Inkster. So I'm always talking to money, really, really important. Federal credit unions. So, and no, I'm trying not to disparage folks, but Priority, Zeal, those one name credit unions, keep driving. Just don't even stop. Your money's over there, move it. People driven. That's cute. I want to help business people. And so what you do is go to your credit union's website, see if they have business services. That's all you need. Start there. Helps if they're an FCU, even better. And then CDFIs, Community Development Financial Institutions. Those are nonprofit banks. A lot of the CDFI community, there's 12 in Detroit. Their money comes from Chase. So Chase makes a $30 billion commitment. No skin off their back. They got $3 trillion. They're okay. JB Diamond is the golden boy. But at the end of the day, he puts his money at Invest Detroit, Detroit Development Fund, Scenair, Capital Impact. Please talk to those folks. They have a mission-driven commitment to put the money in the hands of folks who look like everybody in this room. Except for Andrew. Okay. No, they'll actually give you, if you're doing something in the urban community, they'll give you some money too. All right, and that's me in a nutshell. Hopefully I didn't run over on time. We're at 8:11. Open it up for questions if there are any. And if not, I can.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right.
We'll let you partner up with us, Andrew.
All right, appreciate that.
This is always right.
I have a question. Is it a possibility we can get a copy of the slides?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if my name's good.
And then
One else have my name?
And then I do have a second question.
Yes. Yes,
If
you-
someone wants to talk to you about some other financial opportunities, do we just contact you directly, email, phone? What do we do?
What do you do? Text me? Yeah, you can call me.
Text you is good?
Yes,
Okay.
and so Emmanuel knows this. I'm on 7 Mile every first Friday because that's where I'm from. But we have my contractors meeting at 3 o'clock, and then my real estate investor meeting is at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And we hit the highs and lows of what's going on in Detroit, help folks get through the morass down at the land bank. And no questions online? I'm gonna get out. Let me see.
So first is 6 p.m. for the real estate investors.
Correct.
Yeah, it looks like we got a question online from Devin. You raised your hand.
Yes, you said the Navy Federal Credit Union.
Yes.
Okay, I was just trying to figure out great banks to put a business account in and branch out for the best loans and stuff.
Navy Federal's a good start. And then locally here, I'm now working with the folks at First Merchants, which is a combination of Monroe Bank and Trust and Level One. They all got merged into a bank based in Fisher, Indiana. But they've been cutting some checks to folks as of late. So First Merchants Bank, they're in Detroit on Washington Boulevard, 9 Mile and Woodward. Maple, no, yeah, Maple, that's not Maple, that's something, Square Lake, and Telegraph. So they're all over Metro Detroit.
Okay, thank you.
I see another question in the chat from Zach.
Yeah, I was wondering if you knew of any financial institutions that just in your experience have any experience working with Indigenous Americans or Indigenous American owned businesses. I know there are some federal grants and some federal monies that can be accessed with tribal membership. So I was just wondering if, in your experience, you've come across any financial institutions that have any sort of outreach to deal with the Indigenous American community.
Yes, there's actually some folks out of Colorado and I want to say Butte, Montana, that have come through my LinkedIn. Unfortunately, they are not one of the 17,000 people on my phone, but I could get that information for you.
Okay.
No, I really do have 17,000 people on my phone. So Andrew will connect us, and then I will get some answers to you. But yes, there is some specific money because for the first time in the history of this country, the Department of Interior is run by a Native American.
Right, exactly. Yep. Holland.
Yeah, and so she made that happen. Those dollars going in for them to then push those loan dollars out to your community. So yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions online? In person? Cool. And you said it's, oh, go ahead.
Jason. So, sorry. I'm about to start a container project up in Belleville. And so I was thinking about the bonding thing you were talking about for that. He's not doing any loans or anything, he's doing it all liquid cash. So the thing is, so for the bonding piece, what would be could you walk somebody through the process and getting that? Because I just want to cover all my bases before we break ground next week. He's ready to go. We got an architect stamp drawings and everything. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all heard it. He said next week. Okay. So first, if you've ever gotten builder's risk insurance, it's in that vein. But I just reached out to Lake Michigan Credit Union. They actually own their own insurance agency over in Grand Rapids. I just asked them that question for Steve trying to do that thing. Yeah. So yes, we already got each other. Yeah. So just text that to me.
Okay.
I'll answer that. Okay. Anything else? Don't you ask nothing, Phil. So forgive me, Philip has known me since he was 28, now 41. He should not have another question. He just was in my training class. Thank you, Mr. Colwell. Appreciate you showing up.
Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Cole.
Yeah. Hey, Dixon. Okay, you're welcome. Excellent. I know people's voices. Sorry. All right. I'm good? Yes? Or do you have something?
I'll see you on Saturday.
Oh, boy. All right. I'm out. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
All right, thank you, Jason. All right, y'all, how we feeling? It's a lot of information, right? Okay,
That's why the slides are going to be important.
Yeah, all the slides are going to be shared in that same document, which I'll just pull up now so that we can look at it together. And a lot of those resources he mentioned are accessible like around the city as well. He mentioned Prosper Us, which is one of the community development financial institutions. And
sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you turn this here on, please. Do a phone check. We are now.
all right. So there are a lot of like entrepreneur training resources in the city. If you want more like hands-on support with any of like the forms, the balance sheets, and things like that that were talked about, even writing a business plan. And then, yeah, Mr. Cole is being super generous, like he always is at this time. So he's a great resource to connect with as well if you want mentorship. I know a few people mentioned wanting support with the business side of things. So I'll share my screen so people online can see how I'm navigating here as well. right. So basically, I just went to this welcome email, right? Opened up the welcome document. And then scroll down until this Detroit Healthy Home Contractor Accelerator Program resources. And then this is what this document looks like now. I made some updates after our call yesterday. So these all link to like the different areas as this organized table of contents. This is what I mentioned at the start of the call, whereas everyone's areas of expertise, areas of interest. And then, like I mentioned before, I think that we have a lot to offer each other in this space. So if you have like a mentorship offering, everyone should have editing rights. Feel free to just type in something if you feel like, hey, I could coach someone on, you know, project management at East Case or lead abatement for Dwayne. And then there's also a number of people that we've made contact with like before this program started. Some that can help with business skills, some people who are general contractors who, you know, are opening their doors, so to speak, if you want to like go shadow them on a job site. One person who's doing like biofuel energy, in case anyone's interested in learning about that. And then some people who are interested in navigating some of those government contracts. The other thing that I'll mention is that DWEJ are going to be looking to hire folks as well. This month, it looks like the jobs that we have in the lineup are things like putting up drywall, painting, doors and window installation, gutters and porch repair. In the future, we're anticipating needing roofing, electrical, and plumbing, but we're not exactly sure what that timeline is going to be like. And one other thing I'll note about working with us is that you need to be licensed and have liability insurance. So I know a few of you have already reached out to me, and I've connected folks with resources to like start the general contractor pre-registration course, right? Because you got to do a 60-hour course, then you got to pass the actual exam in order to get your GC permit. So we're just looking to make sure that everyone is able to access that. Sort of like on that note, the presentation resources are going to be here. So like all of like the lead abatement certifications that were mentioned yesterday, the healthy home framework stuff, that's all. I put those links right into this document. And there are more links from Amanda's presentation that are in her slides, and her slides are linked right here. So if you just go click that, that's going to be, you know, her presentation. And then there's the video recap if you want to like rewatch that. I'll do the same thing for today's presentation. It's going to be up tomorrow. And then I started compiling some of the technical certifications as well. So if you're like, oh, what was that one certification that they mentioned? You can look here. Also, if you have knowledge of something, feel free to add it, right? Like this isn't just me disseminating the knowledge. I'm just trying to connect people who already know a lot more than I do, which means all of y'all. So your help would be appreciated. And then some of the resources, yeah, just more resources down at the bottom there. So I just wanted to give everyone a quick walkthrough of that document. Any more questions, things that have come up, like as you've had time to sort of sit with like the general outline of the program?
Just want to reiterate what you said about yesterday. Anybody doing certifications, you said that if you guys are paying for it, then it has to be completed by the end of this month, end of August 31st.
So basically we want to, and correct me if I'm wrong with Risha, but I think the idea is like our grant cycle ends at the end of August. So we're trying to make sure all of the money is accounted for by that time. It doesn't really matter to us if you're still in the training program or if you signed up for something that you're going to take in the winter once things have like calmed down a little bit. So we really want to be flexible and make this work for you. And then, yeah, like I also mentioned, there's like the 32-hour sort of requirement that we're looking at. And that could be for like anything that would be fruitful for your business. We just really want to help remove those barriers. So yeah, thanks for that question.
Yeah, that's accurate. So we wouldn't spend the money on the 31st. But yeah, you identify something that starts next year. You can register for it now, and we can pay for it for you. Then we're more than happy to do that.
Are you saying like the 2 hours that has to be completed by in this month, or that's?
Right, so, no, not really, so, no, it doesn't, but also you could kind of, like someone mentioned that they would go to Jason's meeting, like that counts, right? So anything you're doing, that's supporting you in whatever your goal is, then it can count. So, I mean, literally, if you were like reading the notes, just watching a video, right, then, yeah.
I have a question too. So as far as, okay, so if I want to do a combination, so I want to be on the mentorship side, have a mentor, and then I want to get a certification. So can you put them together, or does it have to be before?
Yeah, great question. You're welcome to combine things.
Okay.
Right now, it looks like our budget per person is around $1,000, maybe like 1,200.
Okay.
So, and that doesn't include mentorship fees. We're going to pay for the mentors out of, that's sort of already been accounted for as well.
So how much are you paying for the mentor? Just curious, so that I get my number.
Yeah, the mentor would be getting paid. I'd have to check my notes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But it's fair, like we're trying to be like fairly compensate everyone for their time.
Well, that'll motivate people to do it.
Yeah, I think it's 1,500, or it might. I think it's actually on par with y'all. I think it's 3,500 for the mentors.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, like you said, we're asking, you're welcome to combine things. We encourage, so what I had in mind when I was sort of like designing this program was that everyone's needs are really specific, everyone's goals are really specific. So rather than come in here and be like, here's a really strict curriculum that we want you to follow so we can give you a piece of paper that says you graduated from some whatever course, let me just have conversations with everyone, figure out what your needs are, and let you sort of direct your own study and learn from each other as well. So if it seems like there isn't like a really clear direction, like jump through these hoops, that's because there aren't a lot of hoops to jump through. Instead, we're looking at everyone to sort of like be a leader in their own learning experience in terms of like, okay, you know what you need for your business to grow and take that next step.
As far as taking a course though, do you take the course first, or do you submit the paperwork to you guys, or how's that going to work as far as the payment on that course?
Yeah, so right now it seems like people have preferred that we just pay for the course up front. And I think that just like makes things easier on our end too. So yeah, once you identify a course, email me. I'll probably add it to the list of like certifications and resources here. Like one person wanted to go through Michigan Builder's License, one person wanted to go through my contractor training. Doesn't make a difference to us. It's whatever like suits you and your business needs better. In both cases, it was the sort of thing they sent me which program they wanted to do, which package with like, the resources associated in the book. And, actually this top one, the Builder's License, also came with, I think, like a QuickBooks subscription, which is helpful if you're doing like trying to get your financials in order. It's just an accounting software. So if that's something that's useful for you, then go for the nicer package and we'll pay for it on the credit card and then get you that login information. And I'm trying to be really like timely about the turnaround on all this stuff too. So, definitely within a couple of days.
Which class you said was with QuickBooks contract? Builder's class?
Yeah, it's this one. It's the MichiganBuildersLicense.com. That top one. So it says plus more options. And this one is the online classes. And they both have online. Or this one, the top one has an in-person option as well.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, good. Yeah, thanks for your assistance today. My question to you is, let's say if a course is less than the allotted 1,000 or 1,200, For the balance, are we still privy to take advantage of the balance or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if you take one course and it's $500, then you still have 500, 700 bucks, you know, that you could use for another course or to pay a mentor or something. Or I guess we'd be paying the mentor, so that's not a good example. But another course or association fees. Like Jason Cole mentioned all these associations he's a part of and mentioned the fact that there's fees for a lot of them. That's the sort of thing that we'd be really happy to help pay because that's access to additional resources, additional knowledge, a bigger network. So we pay for association fees. We pay the fee to take the actual like general contractor test because that's separate from the training course. Yeah, like I said, we're trying to be flexible on this.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Because we just mentioned QuickBooks, so that something like that, would that be something that program paid for? If there were licenses that would help me with my business better, software licenses, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And then also one of the resources that Jason mentioned is Accounting Aid Society. And they also offer more like hands-on tutoring for financial stuff. So like if you're like, okay, well, I have this QuickBooks thing, but I'm not exactly sure how to set it up. They're a good resource. I used to work in Prosperous, like I was saying before, and we would refer people out to them if they needed like real hands-on accounting support. They're solid. That's what they do.
What was the name of it?
Accounting Aid Society.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a question. Can we take a course that's not on this list? Like, would we just submit like the info to you to see if it qualifies?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then for the mentorship thing, is that like anyone who specializes in a field, if we want them to mentor us, we can like just talk to you about it and they could be compensated to be the mentor?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have someone who you want to like mentor you, I would just want to have a conversation with them before just signing a check, and hopefully also connect them with not just you, but maybe another person who's interested in the same thing, right? But I'm definitely open to suggestions if there's someone who you want to learn from, who you think would be a good mentor.
Okay, cool. And what was the mentorship budget?
That's the same as your stipend, so that's $3,500.
Thank you.
How many hours do we work?
Hello, Andrew. Good evening. It's Terrell. I had a question for you. Hopefully, I'm not cutting anyone off. Can you have more than one mentor?
Sorry, what was your question, Terrell?
Can you pay to have more than one mentor? So, like, if one may be construction and the other may be real estate, something of that nature.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem. Like I said,
Cool.
there's a lot of people in this room actually who have real estate experience. So maybe you can start by looking on that list, and you all have each other's emails because I sent an email out to like the whole group. So I would encourage you to reach out to someone in this room who's already a part of the program to be like, hey, teach me about some real estate stuff. Yeah, and then good question.
How many hours if I wanted to be a mentor, how many hours would I have to work for him?
That's a good question.
I mean, is it, if you're looking at 2 hours, is it worth 32 hours, like?
Right, so in terms of the time requirement, what's up? Yeah, in the future?
I can, sure. So, and I should have introduced myself. So I'm Lucretia Barry Daniels. I'm the executive director of this program. I'm the West Side Kitchen.
All the time. All the time.
So, one of the things that Andrew said is that this is somewhat flexible. So we would ask that a mentor and a mentee come up with a plan, right? So it's based on what the goal is of that mentee, and ask that you do what's reasonable, right? Not go beyond what's reasonable. You know what the dollar amount is. You know what the goal is. You know the goal of the program, right? And so we're not going to say like you have to do 35 hours because it's $100 an hour, right? It would be really you coming up with that plan with the person that you're mentoring to make sure that they get to that end goal. We're paying for the product, right? Not for the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Curious, evaluate claim. Is any contractors that's licensed and insured contractors? So I know that we talked last night. Online.
The question is, are anyone licensed and insured?
Licensed and insured. General contractor?
I'm licensed, I'm just not insured, I'm not in practice.
Well, you don't have to get your, get an electrical.
I used to have general. But they got insurance that's real cheap.
Yeah, I'm about to get it
like,
before this.
it's about $50. No, they went up to about $100 now. They were like $50.
I'll be declining
They so cheap, man, you know. It just went like $1 million. Because most of the time you gotta have it. Most of the time you have to have it though to do jobs though. So they're gonna ask you for that. And they're gonna ask you for work from home.
Would you mind sharing where you get your insurance?
I feel with my insurance, right? I does that early.
Yeah. Because I think that'd be helpful for people, like.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hop off. Nice meeting everybody. See you soon.
All right, take care. Any more questions coming from online? No?
I think all of us is mentor each other, but our spiritual
Absolutely. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna close out this Zoom meeting or the Windows meeting. Thanks everyone for your patience today with some of the technical stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you guys tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. All right. Have a good one, everyone.
All right. Bye.
See you tomorrow.